And that's exactly what he did. Kick dirt right over her grave. I'm not gonna sit here and say I wish you the best, because that would be untruthful. Can y'all hear me? My camera trying to play these. How the heck? Okay. Y'all, my camera was trying to play. We don't have time for that. Hi! Oh my gosh, did you guys miss me? It's been a little second. I just ain't been in the mood with y'all. Like, I real deal have not been wanting to talk to nobody. I just feel like I'm in a hermit mode right now. So I'm back, y'all, and it's New Year's Eve. And this year is over. I have so many reflections. I have so much to think about. Well, I have been thinking about a lot. I wanted to go out for New Year's, but I was like, you know what, we're gonna start this year off different, because I've been talking so much about being more conscious and being more intentional about decisions that I make and creating the life that I want. And I think it's appropriate for me to chill out. I got my notebook here and a pencil, and I decided that I'm gonna write letters to some individuals in my life who basically their time is up, you know. It's up. I'm learning personally that, you know, people are here sometimes just for a season. They're here to teach us something about ourselves, about the world. It's all to add more wisdom. When I write these letters, I plan on burning them to release whatever else, whatever connection, bond, anything that makes that relationship or that certain situation linger on, that causes some type of just unhappy and unconscious impact on my life. So that's the first step, I think, right now for me for this new year, is to just clear out all the unnecessary things, all the unnecessary people. And I don't want to say unnecessary people. I've learned my lesson. The time has passed and I'm holding on to something for nothing. Do you guys feel like you need to release something? Do you feel like you need to tell somebody something that you should have told them, that you may didn't tell them, like in the way that you wanted to? You know, I think like if this is something that you would like, you should try it too. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I've never done this before. I've done like written down a list of people who like hurt me or made me feel a way, but I've never necessarily written a letter to them saying what I need to say, but also releasing them back into the ether. So be with me, experience this moment with me. It doesn't have to be a letter. It can be a few bullet points with that person's name or that thing or something, you know, anything that you viewed and reflected upon yourself and realized, like reflected on and realized like, yeah, I can do this better. I can do this better. Right now I got like 3 people in mind. So this first letter I'm writing to my ex. I was gonna send this letter to him initially, but I was talking to a dear friend of mine, and it's that realization that sometimes we pour our hearts out to people so much, and even when we do that thinking that we're having an impact on them, that it's really not up to us. Just because we're pouring ourselves out doesn't mean that they're going to receive what we want them to receive. So that's why these letters are going to be release letters. Like, they're actually not going to ever know. I think I've done so much talking and so much communicating and trying to level with people and bringing myself down to level that it's time for me now to just start acting on what I want, start acting on my needs, practicing what I preach. Shout out to you, boo. This one goes out to you. This bath has me sweating. This next one goes out to my father. If you ever see this, hello. My dad and I have such a weird relationship. It's like touch and go. It's like we're forcing it to work out because we know that it makes sense because you're my dad and I'm your daughter. But it doesn't feel like genuine. It doesn't feel like we're going beneath the surface. Like we're just at the tip of the iceberg, and it's like every time he dips his toe in, it's like he jumps completely out the water. Yeah, I just don't really know like what place he holds in my life. And even after the passing of my mom, it's still like this sense of lack there. Like, and I try my best to like figure out what's missing. I just feel like just because you're my parent doesn't mean that you have to bend yourself to be here and to show up. And I know he's excited to be around when we call him and talk to him. but we just don't connect. And I think that's the hardest thing. I'm into realization that I just have no like connection, and I don't know how to grow it from here. I've changed. I've continued to change over the years. Like, I'm not a little girl anymore. I'm a woman who has had experiences. It's just it's so weird between us. So yeah, this is to you. I honestly thought like these letters are gonna be so much more drawn out. It's just like, I know exactly how I feel, and but this is like the core. Everything I'm saying is the core of how I feel. Everything else has kind of sprouted from that. This next one goes out to my ex-friend. Me and this person met in college. I've kind of mostly let this relationship go. I always saw her heart and I always understood her. And I really thought that, you know, me trying to show up and be as best as I could be, even when I wasn't being great, that, you know, she would see that everybody's not out to get her. Like, some people are around just love you because of you. It just didn't work out that way. And so when my mom passed, it's just like a certain situation transpired, and I just felt some type of way. Like, and I know that I'm still hurt by the situation because I still have dreams about her. Because I did end the relationship. I ended this friendship. It was a very difficult thing to do. We have been friends since 2016, on and off. No, we didn't really get into it because instantly she got defensive, which that's in her character and nature most of the time. So we don't really ever, even when we've gotten into it, like altercations or like heated discussions before, it never really ended well. Like, we always had to come back to it because of how defensive she was if somebody said something against her or like whatever. So that's kind of how it played out. But this is one is for you because I just have to completely release you. Like, I'm very shocked, but I'm not though, because I knew that, but I guess to see it full force, I'm like, wow. So yeah, y'all, let's get into it. This last one is to my mama's ex-husband. So on and on about him, y'all. Like, and I might, you know, when the time presents itself, that might be something that can be talked about. But right now, honestly, I don't even want to give him the time of day. But honestly, I have let out so much anger towards him. But I'm really starting to see him for who he is, and something went wrong in his life, and it doesn't make it right, the things that he has done and chosen to do, but something went seriously wrong. And I don't even, the reason why I'm kind of stuck on whether I'm gonna write this letter to him or not, and I think I'm not going to, because it's not even for me, it's for my mom. And it's like, I would say this because in each of the letters I say what I learned from you in this year from whatever happened. And what I learned from him was that when people try to separate you from the people who love you, when people try to change you, when people put on personas, believe that persona. Believe that person that is trying to change you. Believe that person that's trying to separate you. Believe their capability to be manipulative, because hurt people hurt people. People who have been manipulate people. And from that situation, I really learned that you really gotta accept people for who they are, you know? Like, you can't expect nothing else from them. Like, we can be so infatuated with the person because we see their potential. We know exactly who they are. Even the good moments, you know, that you have with those people, and you're like, this is great, this is why I love you, this is why, like, I want you around. But when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, you know, it can be kind of chaotic. It can be very chaotic, and I don't really want to write letters to him because I'm really done giving him my energy and my attention. But you really taught me, if you ever watch this, you really taught me to not trust and be so loving and forgiving to everybody. Like, there's a boundary. Like, it's okay to love everybody, good and bad, but it's even better to have a boundary, because you never respected boundaries, and that was a red flag from the very first moment. And I just wished that the moment that my mom knew that and she understood that. But sometimes when we are in love with somebody, we take being close with them and being all around them as a sign of that we're so in love with each other and we can't not be around each other. And sometimes that might be true, but other times people could be watching you, trying to understand your moves. So as soon as you're down, they can kick you. And that's exactly what he did. Kick dirt right over her grave. And I'm not even mad at you no more, because I can see the pain and the hurt that you feel you're lost, and you have went through some things that you haven't forgiven people for. And so while you're sitting in church praying, and when you sit and talk to God, and when you tell people about your God, I hope that you pray for your forgiveness. I hope that you pray for redemption. I hope you don't forget that while you may think that you did the best that you could, you hurt others. And there's no other explanation needed. Because I'm not putting you down. And I'm not going to sit here and say I wish you the best, because that would be untruthful. But I wish for you to be prepared. And I wish for you to take your karma with your head high, your chest out, just like you did when you did the things that you did to my mother, and then in turn to her kids. So thank you for being who you truly are, to show me that some people just can't get it right. And your continued lesson in life is to be constantly tested and to be constantly put in situations to make a different decision. Until you do, you'll forever be stuck. Let's see if you're for yourself. You know what else I need to say goodbye to? This motherfucking liquor. I'm going on a break because I love wine. Like, I love to be lit and go outside and have fun. Most of us do. But y'all, it's just like, it's getting to a point where I don't release my emotions until I'm lit, drinking or drunk. And it's not healthy. Like, I know it's not healthy, because I will release them sometimes, but it takes a lot for them to just come out as freely as they do. And I really enjoy that effect that it has on me, because like, I'm really in a mood where I just don't care. Like, I'm just me. Like, I don't care what anybody has to say or nothing. Like, I want to be like that all the time when I'm sober. And I do experience a lot of social anxiety, and I really like self-conscious thoughts a lot of the time. But when I'm like drinking, I don't feel anything. Like, I feel great. I don't care if somebody looking at me. I don't care what they thinking about when they look at me or nothing. Like, it just doesn't even bother me to no extent, to no point. So y'all, I just have to let this go, because this has been a coping mechanism for me since probably I started college. I can go without it, you know, I can go without it, but when I drink it, it's like I have to drink. Like, I'm just a heavy drinker, and it's just like I shouldn't need to drink so heavy just to like feel okay, to let my guard down. So I gotta say goodbye. I don't know how long I'm gonna necessarily not be drinking. I don't foresee myself not drinking for the rest of my life. But I do want to see who I am without it, and I want to see what my life looks like without it. We're consciously creating now. It's about really doing that work, unlearning, deprogramming, to really put myself in the state of like, this is you, this is who you are. You don't need anything outside of you to bring you to that point. Like, you got it in yourself. And so I need to learn that, to feel that safeness and to feel that sense of ease within myself in the midst of other people, especially when I go around people that I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm nervous because I always like wind down Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You know, like it doesn't have a stop. And I'm gonna be honest, like, no, I'm not proud of it at all. Like, it definitely there needs to be some type of control on it. So yeah, goodbye to that liquor. I love you. You taught me that, you know, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be free. It's okay to not always be understood around people. So in those moments when I'm lit and I see that somebody doesn't understand me, or they're looking at me some type of way, or like they're kind of like frowning up at me, right? Like, it's okay, you know, because everybody's not going to be my cup of tea. And I'm not going to be everybody else's cup of tea. So that just means that either we're not on the same frequency, or we're not supposed to be occupying the same space. Or maybe it's a reflection. Everything is always a reflection of each other. So it always comes back to self at the end of the day. So I just really appreciate the liquor for being there, being my bestie. To get out this tub, because I've been here for a long time. I go burn these letters, and we're gonna set some intentions for the new year. And I hope you guys set some intentions, say some affirmations to yourself. If there's something that you can improve, like, do it. And I think it's just a great thing to try something new and do something differently. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a minute when I get out. Okay, bye. Hey guys, I honestly don't know where to go. People are starting to move into my apartment more, so the place I wanted to go to, I think that the people have their blinds drawn. I don't know. I kind of wanted to do it on some rocks or something, but I can do it over here. I think I just need a little privacy, just a bit. Oh guys, it's the second day. I actually didn't do it. I went with a friend and we hung out a bit. It was cool. I went out and I faced a lot of trials and tribulations and just understandings about how was I gonna be thinking in this new year, and I almost slipped. But people are people, man, and some things just has nothing to do with this. But the only thing I can do is just show up for myself and show up as me. And yesterday I took the liberty to truly show up as myself wholeheartedly, how I wanted to be, dressing up. I was very nice looking. I did all the things, and it showed me that when I show up the way I want to and not to make people feel better or to people please, that it's going to ruffle some feathers. And that's okay, because I know my heart and I know that I don't have any bad intentions when I meet people, but that doesn't mean that I have to make myself small to make others feel big or to make them feel valuable, because that's not my job, okay? It's the second day and I've honestly been resting all day, just really trying to, see how I felt. And I watched Manifest. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Manifest, but it's like a TV show on Netflix, and it was so good, y'all. And I finished the season today, and it's so crazy and so amazing how things work, because I was wanting to finish it before, because I'm like, I gotta get done with this, because I don't want to be watching too much TV in the new year. And this whole entire show was talking about, all the seasons were about, the series was about the fact that in life we are given multiple tests and trials to balance the scales. And if you're not familiar with Maya principle, basically it's like if you weigh your heart on a scale with a feather, if your heart tips the scale, then you need to work on forgiveness for yourself, forgiveness for others, or even just seeing people and seeing people through their struggles and through their hard times. And so at the end, all this terrible thing happened to them, but they were tested. They had to balance the scales through all the trials and tribulations that they went through. And if they balanced the scales, their life, they were given a second chance to gain back all the things they lost, and to basically restart from the very beginning, despite all the things that they encountered and went through. So yes, and it just put this beautiful thought in my mind. Like, I was saying I wanted to write these letters to release these people and these situations and these things from my heart, but I need to be forgiving them. So to my ex, I forgive you. To my dad, I forgive you. To my ex-friend, I forgive you. To myself, I forgive you. And I just literally sat in the mirror like before and like just cried to myself, because I was so mad for allowing these things to happen, or feeling like things weren't in my control, but they are. And the actions that I have, the things that I have done that led up to all this pain, was literally me balancing the scales out. And I just feel like my heart deserves a break. So we're gonna burn these letters now, and we're just gonna forgive. So y'all, if you guys are harboring some type of feelings or anything, if you're holding on to something and you're scared and you're upset or whatever you're feeling, forgive. Just please try to forgive. I'm not saying that everything's gonna be washed away today, but I did feel my heart kind of lighten up a bit. And it just made me think, like, if I don't really take care of this now and learn how to forgive and learn how to let go and to just be grateful that I can be here, that I will lose my life. And it's gonna be because of me, because of my own doing. So forgive that person, forgive that thing, forgive yourself, because sometimes we can be so hard on ourselves that we just are like unconsciously hard on everybody else. Y'all, I'm sorry it's so cold out here. So I guess I'm just gonna put them all together and let's burn. Let it burn, let it burn. Forgiveness. 3 symbols, 11 letters. Forgiveness, a noun, means the action or process of forgiving or being forgiven. It is a process, an intentional, conscious decision to let go of resentment and anger. Such a beautiful word with so much power. As I am thinking and feeling how this word feels in my body, I can feel the heaviness of my heart. I'm suffering by my own account. I'm actively in the process of forgiving those outside of me, but I haven't truly forgiven them because I haven't truly forgiven myself for the things that I've put me through, things that I've put others through, things that wasn't representations of my best self. I can no longer lead with anything other than my full, pure heart. I hope anyone that I have hurt can forgive me. I forgive you so you can let go. Right now, if my heart was weighed against a feather, according to the principles of Mayat, the scales would not be balanced. From now on, I am intentionally and consciously balancing the scale. I love you.